the young and the restless spoilers. Nikki Newman had always known that Victor had a dark side, but what she witnessed in the dimly lit cellar shook her to the core. Seeing Jordan, once a proud and independent woman, now reduced to a state of abject misery, chained and treated like a slave, filled Nikki with a revulsion she had never felt before. The cruelty in Victor's eyes as he gazed at Jordan was chilling. "Why are you doing this, Victor?" Nikki's voice trembled with a mix of anger and horror. "This isn't you. You need to stop this right now." Victor turned to face her, his expression a mixture of frustration and determination. "Nikki, you don't understand. She deserves this. She needs to suffer for what she's done." Nikki's anger boiled over. "Deserves this? No one deserves this kind of treatment, Victor. What happened to you? How did you become so heartless?" Victor's eyes darkened, his voice dropping to a menacing whisper. "You don't know what she's capable of. She betrayed me. She needs to pay." Nikki's voice rose in defiance. "I'm not going to stand by and watch you torture her. I'm going to the police." Panic flashed across Victor's face. For the first time, he seemed genuinely afraid. "Nikki, please, you don't understand. You can't do this." He fell to his knees, a gesture so uncharacteristic that it startled Nikki. "I'm begging you. Trust me. Just this once." But Nikki's resolve was unshaken. "I can't, Victor. This is too far. This is wrong, and you know it." In a desperate move, Victor reached into his pocket and pulled out a small vial. Before Nikki could react, he had administered a dose of a potent sedative. Her eyes widened in shock as she felt the drug take effect, her vision blurring and her strength fading. "I'm sorry, Nikki," Victor whispered as she slumped in his arms. "But I can't let you stop me. Not now." Victor carried Nikki to a hidden chamber deep within the mansion, one that even his closest family members didn't know existed. He gently placed her on a makeshift bed and locked the door behind him. He stood there for a moment, consumed by a mix of regret and resolve. When Nikki woke, she was groggy and disoriented. She tried to move, but her limbs felt heavy and uncoordinated. Panic set in as she realized she was in a different room, one she had never seen before. The walls were cold, the air thick with the smell of damp stone. Back upstairs, Victor tried to maintain a facade of normalcy, but the guilt gnawed at him. He had crossed a line, and he knew it. But he was in too deep now. He couldn't let Jordan live, and he couldn't let Nikki expose him. Meanwhile, Victoria and Nick had grown increasingly concerned about their mother. Nikki had vanished without a trace, and Victor's evasive answers did little to alleviate their fears. They began to search the mansion, scouring every room and hallway for any sign of her. Their search led them to the cellar, and eventually, they stumbled upon the hidden chamber. The sight of their mother, weak and disoriented, locked away like a prisoner, filled them with a mix of fury and heartbreak. "Mom!" Victoria cried, rushing to her side. "What did he do to you?" Nikki, still groggy from the sedative, managed to whisper, "Victor. He locked me up." Nick's face hardened with rage. "This is too far. He's lost it." They carefully helped Nikki out of the chamber and back to the main part of the house. As Nikki regained her strength, she told them everything. Victor's cruelty, his desperation, and his final, desperate act to silence her. Victor, realizing that his secret was out, felt the weight of his actions crash down upon him. He had lost everything, the trust and respect of his children, the love of his wife. He stood alone, a man broken by his own ruthless ambition. Victoria and Nick confronted their father, their faces etched with a mixture of disappointment and anger. "How could you do this, Dad?" Victoria demanded. "How could you do this to Mom? To Jordan?" Victor had no answers, only regrets. "I did what I thought I had to do," he said quietly. "But I see now that I've lost everything that truly matters." In the days that followed, the Newman family struggled to come to terms with the events that had transpired. Nikki, Victoria, and Nick vowed to support each other and heal from the trauma inflicted by Victor's actions. They knew that rebuilding their lives would take time, but they were determined to move forward. Victor, meanwhile, faced the consequences of his choices. His empire, once a testament to his power and control, now felt like a hollow shell. He had betrayed the people he loved most, and in doing so, had destroyed the very foundation of his life.